there's just like a thin board with a big bucket of blood and a rope tied to the handle of the bucket. So they pull on the rope and it makes all the blood pour out. That doesn't make any like physical sense. Like when you pick up a bucket, it doesn't tip. Like
I bet Carrie's not even real.
I have seen. I bet she's not even real. Right. Now that I think of it.
So what was your favorite line in the whole movie?
I thought it was really funny when Chris is talking to Carrie and she's trying to be all friendly with her and she's like telling her how to take care of like her cramp pains and she's like, the bottle says to take 2 ibuprofen, but I always take 3. Like she's such a bad girl.
Such a rebel.
Like, oh my gosh, you are living life on the edge, Chris.
You win there, Chris? Oh, where's this movie gonna go?
And she doesn't say it like joking, like she's serious. It's like, what the crap are you even talking about? It was hilarious. There were. I mean, it was a decent movie, but there were quite a few funny, cheesy lines. What was your?
Oh, mine was just when they're in the locker room. They go word for word in the like what it says in the book, and then Chris just adds on, "Oh, this isn't even over. It's not even in the same area code is over." I'm like, what? Like, well, I was just like, it did. It went line for line what was in the book, and then they added that on. Like that was like a chopper, you know?
That was
like,
the funniest.
To stop
oh
everything.
My gosh. I think maybe that was my favorite line. That is a fun like.
Oh, geez, dude.
Over. This is so far from over. It's not even in the same area code. And she's like screaming. She's so serious. It's not even in the same area code as over. And then she like storms out. And it's like, holy cow.
And all the other girls are looking at her like, oh, things just got real.
That was so funny.
Dude. Yeah.
The movie was really, it was deep. I liked it. I thought it followed the plot really well of the book. Like it hit all the right points and it told the story well. But I think like a lot of the cinematography stuff of like the camera angles and the music, it just made it really cheesy. It felt like, to me, it felt like a movie on the Sci-Fi Network or something, like a college project or something. It was really like a low budget film. Like a lot of scenes that were not even scary, like the camera would be tilted, like it was some dramatic angle, and like it would be like weirdly zoomed in on the character's face and it'd be like all intense. It's like what is this? Like what is trying to make it more intense than it is? I thought it was it just came off as cheesy. And then they'd have creepy music.
Well, for people that don't know which movie we're talking about, it's the 2002 adaptation. So not the original or the one that they just did in 2013, but yeah. So
we are really cheap. I'm really cheap. The 2002 one was the only one I could find. It was on Netflix.
It was free, yeah. So
yeah, well, kind of free. It paid for Netflix, but yeah, it was on Netflix. The other two are on Hulu, but you'd have to pay like $4 to watch them. And I ain't about to pay $4. It did leave me wondering though if the other two movies are like better. I bet the newer one is probably pretty good.
Well, so I got a little curious and I watched the newer one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. It was better. Like it was good, and I feel like it followed a lot more like of what the story, like of what was in the book. I mean, there's still some things that I was like, oh, but yeah, I enjoyed the new one. Thought they did a decent job.
I thought the one that I watched, the 2002, I feel like it followed the book pretty well. There were definitely some changes.
There was just some things in there that I'm like, why would you change that? Or like why would you follow the book exactly and then add a line on of like it's not even the same area code as over? What's the point of doing that?
Yeah, I did think it was interesting. The main difference I think in the movie that I watched is like the ending where Sue finds Carrie dead, but then she revives her and she helps her escape to Florida. And she like, lies to the cops about it. So like the whole premise of the movie is like the cops interviewing Sue about what happened, and she's like not telling them what really happened, and she keeps telling them that like Carrie died and disappeared or something. But like really she saved Carrie and helped her escape, which was probably the biggest difference. But I thought it was kind of a cool artistic, interpretation, I guess. I was okay with it.
Yeah. And then like the fact that her mom like drowned her at first, where like Carrie just went in and killed her mom, like because she was powerful enough. I thought that was kind of weird, like she just didn't do anything about that, where she has all these powers, she's killing everybody in the high school, and then her mom starts to drown her and she's like, oh no, I can't do anything about it underwater.
No, you touched on one of my biggest complaints. Like she's in the bathtub trying to get clean because she's all covered in blood. The mom comes in and like pushes her under the water, and she drowns, and she's like, she lets her, like, what? You just like made a room explode, and like and you couldn't like push your mom's hands off of you, like I don't know. So yeah, that was a little bit lame, but I thought Billy Nolan, Chris's boyfriend, was so hilariously like bad. Like he's like this really tough bad guy, and it was just like this skinny dude. Like,
I know, this skinny, scrawny guy that like
he was just always like he looked like me actually. He had a haircut like this, but like 100 pounds lighter. Like maybe not 100, 50 pounds lighter. Like he was just like a little dude, and like he just had a dumb face. I didn't like him. I don't know. Like
that was the other part I thought was funny, when his friend comes into the room. He's like telling him about the town's burning, and his friend's like this big burly guy. He's like this little scrawny 115-pound dude, and the friend's like so scared of him. Like, what do we do? What do we do, Billy? Watch the town burn.
What? We're gonna watch it burn. And he was like really, like, like trying to be really cool. Like, he was like, I don't know, like Edward from Twilight or something, like brooding. Just
a little over the top.
Shut up, babe. Shut up. Pull the rope. I'm not gonna do it for you. You gotta pull the rope. This is assault. Like,
dude.
I just didn't like him. He was weird. I don't know. Carrie, the actress who played Carrie, I thought she was great, and also like I don't know. I didn't like her, but I also liked her. Like there were scenes whenever she would like use her power, she'd be like shaking. But
that was a little weird.
Not like shaking like I'm really working on this. She was shaking like having a seizure. Like she would stare off in her face and be like, I'm like, what is going on? Like,
it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, maybe that was the point, because it's supposed to be a little bit scary.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
overall, I kind of liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was decent.
I did. I said multiple times that like the book was not scary. I did. I feel like they went a little over the top trying to make the movie scary, but there were certain parts of the movie, especially when she was all covered in blood and killing people, like where I was like, okay, this is a little bit scary. Like I get it now. Like this is a horror movie because of that. You know what I mean? Like, you're frozen. Jordan, come on, don't do this to me again. You're frozen. But other than I think it sort of earned its distinction as a horror movie because of those scenes. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, sorry.
Been thawed. Do you have anything else to say about the movie? I feel like we've been talking about it for a long time. We're trying to cut our video length down. Sorry, people.
Just one more thing. So one thing that I did like a little bit better in the movie than I did the book was, so in the book, her mom's like this big, huge, large lady.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, she's like a lot smaller and trim. And I think in some cases that makes someone more scary when they come out, in some cases it does, because you're not expecting it.
Is that because your mom is thin?
She's so scary. I'm just
scared of her.
No, like you just don't expect that from someone like super small, like her mom, and so it's a little bit unnerving when she does get all riled up, and she's,
So yeah, her mom has a sort of innocent look to her, like
Yeah.
she's like a petite woman, but then don't underestimate, she'll get you.
She'll get you. Yeah.
She cray.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a little. This is my PSA, my public service announcement. This is my. This is me getting on my soapbox. I want to make a statement about the book.
Get up there.
I wrote it, so I hope this doesn't sound too scripted, but it is scripted.
Okay.
So yeah, Stephen King, he said in the introduction to the book, I really like this, and it's actually very sad, that he based Carrie on two different girls that he went to school with when he was a kid. One was bullied like pretty severely because she wore the exact same clothes every day for like, he didn't really say, I think it was like a whole school year. And then after high school, after they graduated, she ended up actually like killing herself. She was sort of, a pariah. She was ostracized, really. The other one was also ostracized and bullied because she came from like a really eccentric and religious family. And she also suffered from epileptic seizures. And she ended up also dying early because of a result of one of those seizures. She died during a seizure. And he said that he sort of couldn't, he calls them the ghosts of those girls, that like he kind of couldn't get them out of his head, and he felt so bad that he didn't really participate in bullying them, but he also didn't do anything to stop it. So I feel like Sue Snell is sort of him, like is based off of him,
That's interesting.
that she starts to feel remorse and tries to help Carrie out and stuff like that. So he said that he based Carrie off of those girls. So knowing this, I really can't help feeling that, like, I know Carrie is supposed to be sort of like a horror thriller story, but it really has a nice message, like an anti-bullying message, I felt. We've talked about the book Rage. He wrote a few books from now. We're going to read Rage. It's like a school shooter story. It's been out of print for a long time because of that. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking, like, Carrie is basically a school shooter story with magical telekinesis instead of a gun. Like, she gets severely bullied. She ends up killing most of her classmates. Like, it could be taken sort of the wrong way, I think. But it has that strong message of, like, I like how the book shows things from Carrie's perspective. She struggles, she doesn't get along socially, but also she's trying to be a good person. She's trying to do what she thinks is right. Like, she's not just like a psycho. Before I read the book, I always thought, like, oh yeah, Carrie is like some sort of psycho and she ends up killing her classmates. Like, I didn't know what the story was about. She's really a sympathetic character. I really like her character, actually. And then me as a teacher, I just kind of wanted to make a statement. Like, if you see somebody bullying, if you feel like maybe like I feel like bullying, it happens so much without the bully even realizing they're doing it. Like, you just kind of make a teasing comment, or like
I agree, dude.
fun at someone, and you don't realize how they feel about it, Fortunately, as a teacher, I've only ever really encountered true bullying once in my class, and I was able to put an end to it pretty quickly. But it was something that, like, it was really affecting this kid. And so, I mean, it's a serious thing, and they give us trainings on it every year, and it's the kind of thing that, like, we really need to put an end to. I don't know. Do you feel like there were bullies in our high school? I really don't feel like I ever saw bullying in our school.
No, I feel like there's situations, though. Like, sometimes I think what you're trying to say is, like, sometimes, like, maybe you said something that you weren't thinking about, but I feel like I did that too. Like,
but I said sorry to you afterward.
No, not to me particularly.
After I put your head in the toilet, I did.
Yeah, when you gave me swirlies, yeah, that was pretty rude, dude. No, but just like, you just don't think about how that affects people, or like,
definitely,
like you're just playing a joke, or like you just want to fit in with other people, and so you just kind of put down somebody else. So yeah, you just don't know like what someone else is going through. So just
that reminds me, sort of in that same vein. We grew up in a rural area in northern United States. I was talking with another friend that we went to high school with, and we were talking about racism and how, like, I married a Mexican woman. I live here in El Paso, Texas. I'm surrounded by a lot of Latino people. And when I go back home to Idaho, sometimes we encounter a little bit of racism, like, towards my wife. And it's the same sort of, like, subconscious, not really meaning to, but making an inappropriate joke kind of thing. And I think about Like when I was a kid, we would do that. We would say things without even thinking about it. I don't know about you, but like there was a kid I remember this sticks in my mind, and I really hope he wasn't upset about it. I don't think he was. He didn't act like it was. Maybe, I don't know. He was in our weightlifting class, and he had very dark skin. And then it came up in conversation that he was from Mexico. And somebody was like, I thought you were from somewhere more exotic. Because he was like really, really dark. Muy prieto. And then so we started calling him Exotic Eddie. Because like his name was Eduardo Eddie. And like that became his nickname. And it was like a joke. And now looking back, I'm like, I wonder if he just thought we were a bunch of white hick jerks. Like what's wrong with all these redneck kids calling me exotic? Like, I don't know. I just feel bad about stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, well, I think some stuff comes off like it is bullying, but like things happen because of ignorance. Like you just don't think of things, so like it's not intentional sometimes, but just because like sometimes you just need to be more educated, you know, about like what's going on in the world and what you say affects other people. So
definitely something I think I've sort of come to the conclusion that like it's when you don't have very much exposure to other groups of people, when you get those sort of erroneous ideas, and the more you interact with them, the more you realize like how similar you are and how well you can get along, kind of thing.
Right.
Like when I first moved here, I would sometimes catch myself thinking things, and I would like stop and be like, why am I thinking like these are nice, cool people? Like I'm at church with them, like we're friends. Why did I think that, you know? And I would catch myself. And I think just the continued exposure of being around a lot of Mexicans all the time, like I speak Spanish constantly here with friends and family and coworkers and people at church and everything. So just that constant exposure has really sort of, I guess, opened my mind to a lot of these sort of erroneous ideas I used to have, or not even ideas, just sort of like subconscious feelings. I don't know. It's weird.
Right.
We're getting weird territory here. I don't know.
No.
I'm not a racist. I swear.
The point is that Carrie teaches some good lessons. Like
it actually does, and I was surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you don't get killed, like just don't be a bully. You know.
Don't be a bully.
That's not the point of not being a bully. Just don't do it because it's rude.
I wouldn't want to get murdered, so I won't be a bully.
That's right.
Oh yeah. So if you can't, that's what I said to this kid he was in my class and he was kind of bullying another kid. I told him, dude, like if you can't get along, just don't interact. Like just stay on opposite sides of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And it just reminded me like what my mom always used to say: if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Did your mom ever say that?
Yeah.
A classic mom phrase. She would always say that. You can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. I had like four brothers and a sister, so it was 6 kids. We were always fighting. She would always say that to us.
Yeah.
We were always insulting each other and fighting constantly.
Good point.
But anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. What else?
So we talked about the movie. The next book. Oh yeah. So we should probably explain why we're not talking about Salem's Lot. Are you frozen? Frozen.
I'm frozen?
You're back.
Oh, okay.
Why are we not talking about Salem's Lot?
Because Ty over here dropped the ball and couldn't get the book in time. So.
I just received it. It was today, right? Yeah, I got the email today. My digital copy. I went through the whole list, okay, of all the books.
Yeah, all right.
And I know which ones are available from my library, and I made a little note. But then when I went to actually check this one out last week, it wasn't available. Like they have it, but it wasn't available. It was already checked out to somebody else. I had to put it on hold.
Yeah. So we didn't get to read it, but we'll be doing that this upcoming week. So we were talking about the movie this week. So here it is.
So I just nice. I just got it today. Jordan got it a couple days ago, right? A few days ago.
Yeah.
But we've restrained ourselves. We haven't started reading it yet. What were you gonna say? Sorry. My wife says I interrupt you way too much in these videos.
Oh no, dude. Feel free to talk. That's what this is about.
Right.
No, that's what I was just saying we got it. We're gonna read it now. Yeah.
So
for another journey.
It's split into 3 sections, and each section has maybe like 5 or 6 chapters, I think, from what I could tell. So I think roughly speaking, should we try to try to read like a section a week, 4, 5, 6 chapters a week?
Yeah.
We could do half a section a week. That's
Let's
fine.
see.
No,
Well, I just saw that the first section was like 200. Sorry, I'm not a fast reader, so that's why I let's see, how many pages is the first section?
well, while Jordan's looking for that, I'll explain. So Salem's Lot, I'm looking forward to this, but I'm also a little scared because, like I said so many times, Carrie, I didn't find it scary at all. But Salem's Lot, I think I'm gonna get creeped out by because it's a vampire story. It is Stephen King sort of had this question in the back of his head. He kept wondering what would happen if Dracula came to America in modern times. And he quickly sort of realized that with modern, vehicles and technology, he wouldn't really be able to be very powerful like in a big city. He jokes about like if he went to New York, he'd just get run over by a cab and like it would be over. So he decided to set it in like a rural town. And I think what I understand is it's about like an author who moves back home to his own small town where he grew up, and he starts to realize that there's weird stuff going on and like maybe vampires have taken over or something like that. That's what I got. I read a little bit of the Wikipedia page and that's it. I didn't want to spoil too much for myself.
Yeah.
All I know, it's a vampire story. It's supposed to be pretty good, and I'm a little bit scared. Vampires creep me out.
I don't know. It's gonna be good, dude. I'm excited. So, I have to admit, I did read a first small, tiny section of it. So, but that's actually all I read. Is what you just said.
Did we not agree?
Well, and then I went back on my promise. So.
All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe like half a section a week. I don't know. We'll see what we read. We'll just read what we read.
Okay, I just looked it up. It's like 250 pages for the first section, which I'm sure that's a breeze for you.
50 pages a day and 2 days left over.
Okay. Yeah, that can be. We can try for that.
We'll shoot for it. If we don't hit it, that's not a problem.
All right. That will be our goal. That's a good goal. I like that.
Okay. Which brings us to our next and final point of this video. We are going to try to make these videos a little bit more concise, right, in the future.
A little bit shorter, yeah.
Our Carrie discussions were like an hour each video. Probably boring to watch us just talk about it. Like, I don't know.
A little more organized.
Yes. I'm going to actually start. So I made a bunch of notes about like characters and things, but I think I'm going to do what you did is like actually take notes of like plot points that I want to talk about and actually tell the story. And this is just you and I communicating, figuring things out. Like, I didn't realize that we wanted to like tell the story of the books in these videos. I thought we were just gonna be talking about them and stuff and seeing like the connections and all this sort of stuff. So in the future, we're gonna try to actually tell the story because these videos are gonna be for people who either have already read it and like they like the story and they want to hear our opinion on it or whatever. People who are reading it along with us. So like you can read a chapter and then watch a video and read a section and watch a video, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And also for people who like don't have any intention of ever reading it, which honestly is probably going to be a lot of the people we know.
Yeah.
Like my mom, I posted on Facebook. I was like, hey, we're doing this video. And she like commented, she's like, I don't want to read the books, but I want to hear you talk about them. Like,
yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll sort of like tell quick condensed versions of what's going on for the people that don't want to read the books but maybe want to know what happens in the story.
Yeah, just a little bit of both. So quick synopsis, but then like all the stuff that we liked or those connections that we want to make with other books. And
yeah, that's pretty much all we have to discuss in this video, unless there's something else you'd like to say, Mr. Bloomquist.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Excited for the start Salem's Lot.
We're going to start Salem's Lot this week. We'll be coming at you again next week with another video about the beginning of Salem's Lot.
All right.
Oh, you know what we should get good at doing at the beginning of these videos? We should be like, hey, if you haven't seen our other videos, check them out over here. And then I'll put the box somewhere else so we look stupid. It'll be great.
Right. I like that.
So, if you didn't check out our discussion on Carrie in the last 2 videos, you should go click on it right there where Jordan's pointing.
Or if it's over here, or
Point
like
again,
right there,
Jordan. There you go.
or if it's right over here.
Yeah.
You need one
So
of those
go
spots.
back,
If you click on them, then might be there.
check out Carrie, and then watch the movie, and then you'll see why we're laughing about it so much.
Yeah.
It was very cheesy. The music was really killing me, dude. Like,
I know. It was all through it too.
it was like the music from like Friday the 13th or Psycho or The Exorcist. Like, just like really dramatic, but the imagery was not on par with the music. It was just like a girl sitting in a desk in a classroom. And she's like,
You're like, wait, is this the right soundtrack am I watching a different movie? What's going on here?
like, I'm not the only one, right, that thought that.
No,
like, she's sitting there and she's like spazzing out, and then it's like, and then the teacher's like drawing on the board, and it's like, oh, like, it's like you're expecting a monster to jump out, and then she's just like, oh, I wrinkled my ruler.
I know, dude. I forgot about that part. That was it was a little bit.
When I saw her, the ruler, it's like a metal ruler and got all crinkled up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how, like, what? Like, that's not even like a power, like, you can just do that with your hands.
No,
but then she broke her desk. So I was like, okay.
Right in half. She cracked it.
Big old crack down the middle of her desk.
But we never saw it really, so she might have just done it with her hands and then pounded her desk. So it was just camera tricks. I bet Carrie's not even real.
I have seen. I bet she's not even real. Right. Now that I think of it.
There was a lot of plot holes in there. So
you know what? Honestly, is one of the things that also bothered me about the movie, and also kind of the book. The book, not so much, because it deliberately like didn't explain it super well. So like you can just kind of imagine it in your mind, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, above the throne, there's just like a thin board with a big bucket of blood and a rope tied to the handle of the bucket. So they pull on the rope, and it makes all the blood pour out. That doesn't make any like physical sense. Like when you pick up a bucket, it doesn't tip. Like they've
mastered physics and changed them. So
like it tips perfectly onto Carrie, and it pours for like 10 seconds. Like 15
I know,
seconds.
dude. Like, I know. I was like, did they install like a hose and just put the blood in the hose?
Like the bucket, in order for that to work, the bucket would have to be like held suspended upside down for like a solid 10 to 20 seconds. And then the bucket falls, but it doesn't fall on Carrie. It falls and hits Tommy. It's like that was one thing, because I love fantasy and all the nonsensical stuff, and it's like,
right,
oh, she has mind powers, I can buy it. But like when you're telling me something that's so like physically real in the real world, like there's nothing magical about a bucket falling,
Yeah.
Like make it work, make it do it real.
Right.
Like it bothered me.
That was kind of funny, dude. I forgot about that.
We shouldn't even, whatever. We already talked about the movie. It was funny.
Yeah, it's good.
And then after Tommy died, no, I'm just kidding. Well, I did have he gets hit on the head, falls down, and then the students start laughing. Like,
oh yeah,
you just saw a dude get like railed on the head, like he went down hard and he didn't get up.
Yeah, like he died. Like they're not laughing because Carrie. They're laughing because a kid died.
I guess
these are evil students, so they deserve to die.
I did like the movie how she used her telekinesis stuff to actually like. She didn't just. I mean, most of the kids, yes, it was water on the floor and electricity, and it shocked them and killed them. But like a few people, she like threw them around and stuff, and that's what I was like kind of wanting to see.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Anyway.
All right. Well, that's it for us. So
that's all. So
peace.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
There you go. Yeah, do that.
How can I stop? Oh, there we go. Stop the recording.
Hurt,
Forgive me if after a whole hour of work, I want to relax with a cheeseburger and a crack pipe.
Exactly, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
If you didn't check out our discussion on Carrie in the last 2 videos, you should go click on it right there where Jordan's pointing.
Or if it's over here, or
Point
like
again,
right there,
Jordan. There you go.
or if it's right over here.
Yeah.
You need one of those spots. If you click on them, then it might be there.